Alright, in this video we're going to be solving the past paper of October-November 2019, paper 2, variant 2. Okay, so let's get started. So in question number 1 it says Tanya owns a small business. Tanya has 4 employees. Every week the employees each work for 7 whole 3 over 4 hours each day for 5 days. Okay, each employee is paid 15.20 per hour. Calculate the total amount that Tanya pays her 4 employees in 1 week. Okay, so that's a pretty straightforward question. So the first thing we need to do is we need to figure out the total number of hours worked by these 4 employees. Okay, so every employee works for 7 whole 3 over 4 hours. Okay, so if I need to work out the amount, 7 whole 3 over 4 by the way 7.75. So we know that we have 4 employees. Okay, so I'm going to multiply this by 4 to get the number of hours, and then I'm going to multiply it by 5 because they're working 7.75 hours each day. Okay, so this is going to give me 7.75 into 4 into 5 is equal to 155. All right, so this 155 is the total number of hours worked by 4 employees in 5 days. Now she's paying her 15.2 per hour, so that means I'm going to multiply this amount by 15.2, so that gives me 2356. So that's our final answer, 2356. Okay, then we have part B, which says the business made a profit of $25,700 in 2017 compared with $22,102 in 2018. Calculate the percentage decrease. Okay, to calculate the percentage increase, decrease, or change, what we do is we figure out the change divided by the original value multiplied by 100, or you can think of it as new minus old multiplied divided by old multiplied by 100. So in order to figure out the change, I'm going to do 25,700, and from it I'll subtract 22,102 divided by 25,700 into 100. So let's work this out. 25,700 minus 22,102 divided by 25,700 again multiplied by 100. So that gives us 14%. Okay, then it says Tanya must add 8% sales tax to the initial cost of a job. She then adds 15% to the cost including sales tax to find the amount to charge a client. Tanya charges one client a total of 465.75 for a job. Okay, so that means the initial cost is X, but we know that she must add 8% sales tax. So that means she's going to increase this amount by 8%, which is going to make it 108%. And then she should add 15% to the cost including sales tax. So that means now she's going to increase this amount again by 15%, which means taking 115% of it. And after all this, it turns out to be equal to 465.75. Now you and I have to work out the value of X. So it's just a matter of cross multiplying. We're going to take both these hundreds on the right hand side. So we're going to have 465.75 multiplied by 100 multiplied by 100 again, divide by 108, and then divide by 115. So our final answer turns out to be $375. Okay, let's do part D now, which says Tanya invests $8,500 in an account paying 3.1% per year compound interest. At the end of 5 years, she takes $9,300 from the account to buy new equipment for the business. Calculate how much money is left in the account after buying the new equipment. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to figure out the total amount that she will have at the end of 5 years. So that's going to be equal to 8,500 multiplied by 103.1 upon 100 raised to the power of 5. I should write the formula for compound interest, and that's total equals to principal 100 plus the rate upon 100 raised to the power of the number of times you will get the interest, which is 5 in this case. So let's work this out. 8,500 multiplied by 103.1 divided by 100 raised to the power of 5 for 5 years. So this turns out to be $9,901.75, so on and so forth. Now she has taken $9,300 from this amount, so I'm going to deduct this amount. So minus 9,300 from the answer that I have in my calculator, and that gives me 601.75. So 601.75 is my final answer. 601.75. Okay. So let's move to the next question, which is part 2, and this is related to transformation. So it says shape A is mapped onto shape B by reflection. Okay, write down the equation of the line of reflection. Okay, so in order to find out the equation of the line of reflection, what you do is you take any two corresponding points and you find out their midpoint. So this point A onto B, that means B is your object. So if you go from this point to this one, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So the midpoint will be halfway, which is going to be 2, and it's going to be the same for these 2 points also. So if I join these 2 points in order to get a straight line, this line will have equation. Let's see, first let's get the line. So here we have the equation of the line, which is going to be equal to y equals to minus 1. So we were supposed to write down the equation, and we have the equation, and that is y equals to minus 1. Describe fully the single transformation that maps A onto C. Okay, since the size has changed, this is definitely going to be enlargement. So we're going to write enlargement. We get 1 mark for that. And next thing we have to do is we have to write down the scale factor. So we can very easily determine the scale factor if we take the base of the shape A, which is 1, and the base of shape C, which is 3. So we can divide 3 by 1 to get the scale factor, and that's going to be equal to 3. So scale factor is 3. And then the next most important thing to find when defining enlargement is the center of enlargement. And you can do that by joining any two corresponding points and seeing where they intersect. So if I join these 2 points, I can see that they intersect at minus 3, 2. So the point of intersection is minus 3, 2. That means our center is going to be minus 3, 2. So this way we get our 3 marks. Then it says transformation T is represented by this matrix. T map shape A onto shape D. Draw and label shape D. Okay. So the first thing we should do is we should figure out what this is, what this matrix is representing. That's the most important thing to do. And I have a complete video on transformation matrices, which I would strongly suggest that you guys check it out in case you want to figure out how it is determined that what matrix is representing what transformation. So this matrix right here is minus 1, 0, minus 1. So we always start from 1, 0, 0, 1. Okay. So here is 1, 0, and here is 0, 1. Now after a certain transformation, this matrix has transformed into this matrix. Okay. So that means after applying a certain transformation, 1, 0 turned into minus 1, 0, and 0, 1 turned into 0, minus 1. So what do you think this is going to be equal to? This is definitely rotation, and rotation, that is 180 degrees. So that means what do I have to do in order to obtain shape D? I need to rotate A 180 degrees. Okay, so I need to rotate shape A 180 degrees, and that's going to give me shape D. Now another way to do this would have been to take the coordinates of A and multiply it with this matrix, but I find this a lot easier, so I'm going to do just that. So let's switch to the color green. Okay, so this point right here, this is 5 units to the left and 1 unit upwards. If I want to rotate this 180 degrees, that means I'm going to take it 5 units to the right and 1 unit downwards. That's going to take me to 5 minus 1. Okay, and then let's do this point. So this point right here we can see is 6 units to the left and 1 unit up. So that means now it's going to be 6 units to the right and 1 unit down. So there you go. And the rest you can pretty much figure out yourself, or in fact let's not jump, let's not skip any step, let's just do it more thoroughly. So now I'm going to rotate this point. This unit is 6 units to the left and 3 units upwards. After I rotate this 180 degrees, it's going to be 6 units to the right and 3 units downwards. So this is going to take me here, and then let's do this point. This is 5 to the left, 2 up. Now it's going to be 5 to the right and 2 down. So there you go. This right here is shape D, and let's label it shape D. So there you go. We have done question number 2 part C. Okay, now let's do question number 3. So here it says the table shows the times in seconds taken for each of 12 members of an athletics club to run 400 meters and 800 meters. On the grid, complete the scatter diagram. The first 6 points have been plotted for you. Okay, so I'm going to plot the remaining 6. So let's do that. So we have 56 and 129. So 56 on the x-axis will be, let's see, so this is going to be 56. Yeah, 56 is going to be here, and then 129 is going to be halfway between 120. No, actually it's going to be 1 block below 130. So that's going to be somewhere here. And then we have 63, 138. So 63 is going to be here, and then 138 is going to be 2 blocks before 140. So got to be careful. Yeah, that's it. And then 50, 126, this should be easy. 50, 126, there you go. And then 60, I should probably keep crossing them out as I plot them. 61, 131. So 61 is going to be here. And then 131 is going to be here. Yeah. And then 53, 119. So 52.5, 53, 119 is going to be one block below 120. So that's going to be here. And then 55 and 127, so 55, 125, 126, 127. There you go. So now we have all these points and we get 2 marks for that. Do we? Yeah, we get 2 marks for that. Okay. Then it says runners who took less than 55 seconds to run 400 meters and less than 125 seconds to run 800 meters are selected to enter an athletics competition. Okay. How many of these runners are selected for the competition? Okay, let's see. Runners who took less than 55 seconds. So that means I'm going to look at 150, I'm going to look at 55 and I'm going to make a straight line. So that means all the runners that we have on the left side of this, since these are all those who took less than 55 seconds are selected so far, and less than 125 seconds. So I'm going to make another line at 125, and less than 125 means all the runners that are below this line and on the left side of this line. So we have how many runners? 1, 2, 3, 4. So what is the total number of runners that have been selected for the competition? That is 4. Draw a line of best. What type of correlation does the scatter diagram show? This is definitely a positive correlation. Why? Because we can see that the points are in an upward formation. Okay. Then it says draw a line of best fit on the scatter diagram. Yeah, this was bound to happen. So a line of best fit, an ideal line of best fit is such that the number of points lying above is equal to the number of points lying below. So this requires a bit of trial and error. We can't get it right in the first attempt. So let's try and have maximum points passing through the line, and let's see if the number of points lying above is equal to the number of points lying below. That's having maximum points passing through the line is not necessarily a condition, but if that happens to be the case, it's there's nothing wrong in that also. Okay, so let's see. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, definitely not. Let's try and change this a bit. Let's try and make it a bit more steep. Okay, let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, very good now. So this right here is the line of best fit. So we've done that. Another runner took 65 seconds to run 400 meters. Use your line of best fit to estimate how long they would take to run 800 meters. So he took 65 seconds to run 400. So 400 meters, time for 400 meters on the x-axis. So I'm going to start making a vertical line here. Let's make this line dotted, and let's change the color to, let's change it to blue. Okay. So I'm going to keep on going up from here till I touch my line of best fit. So this right here is where I'm touching my line of best fit, and if I look at the corresponding value, this is approximately 135. So right here I'm going to write down the time, which is 135 seconds according to my line of best fit. Okay, now we are at part B, which says the 50 members of the athletics club attempted the high jump. The table summarizes the heights in centimeters of their jumps, and we can see that P and Q are missing. The rest, we have the rest of the values. The athletics coach uses mid intervals to calculate an estimate of the mean height jumped by the 50 athletes. Okay, his estimate of the mean is 153.6. Explain why P plus Q equals to 12. Okay, let's see. So if I want to explain why P plus Q equals to 12, that's fairly simple. I'm going to add these up, okay, and I'm going to set it equal to 50. I don't necessarily have to use this piece of information. I can use that in the second. So P plus 10 plus 15 plus 13 plus Q equals to 50. So I'm going to add the numbers that I can. So 10 plus 15 plus 30 is equals to 38. So P plus Q equals to 50 minus 38, which gives me that P plus Q equals to 12. So there you go. That's part 1 done. Okay. Next it says show that 142.5P plus 162.5Q equals to 1870, and then definitely it's going to ask me to calculate the value of P and Q. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to calculate the midpoint of every interval. So the midpoint for this will be 142.5. The midpoint for this will be 147.5. The midpoint of this will be 152.5. The midpoint of this will be 157.5, and the midpoint of this will be 162.5. Now we're going to multiply this with their respective frequencies, and we're going to sum them up and set it, divide by the total frequency, which is 50, and then we're going to divide it by 50. I think I just said that, and set it equal to 153.6. So 142.5 times p is going to give us 142.5 p. 147.5 times 10 is going to give us 1475. Yeah, that's pretty simple. Okay, now I'm going to use a calculator for this. 152.5 multiplied by 15 is going to give me 2287.5, and then 157.5 multiplied by 13 is going to give me 2047.5, and then 162.5 multiplied by q. Oh, okay, I don't need a calculator for that. 162.5 q, and this divided by 50 is equal to 153.6. Okay, so I'm going to leave this here, 142.5 and 162.5 q. So since I can't add them up, 142.5 plus 162.5 q. I'm going to multiply 50 by 153.6. So 153.6 multiplied by 50. So that's equal to 7,680. And from it, I'm going to subtract this value, and this value. So minus 1475 minus 2287.5 minus 2047.5. So that's equal to 1870, and we get 2 marks for doing this. Find the value of p and q. This was definitely bound to happen. So p plus q equals to 12. Oh, I should have written p here. Yeah, 142.5 p plus 162.5 q equals to 1870. You can use your calculator to solve this, but you have to show your working anyway. So I'm going to make p the subject here. So p is equals to 12 minus q. I'm using the method called substitution. So 142.5 into 12 minus q plus 162.5 q equals to 1870. So let's open this up. 142.5 into 12, that's equal to 1710 minus 142.5 q plus 162.5 q equals to 1870. Okay, so this is a lot of working. Minus 142.5 plus 162.5 is equals to 20q, and 1870 minus 1710 is equals to 160. So the zeros get cancelled out. Q is equals to 8. Okay, so we have the value of q, which is 8. Now let's figure out the value of p. So I'm going to use this equation here in order to figure out the value of p. So p is going to be equal to 12 minus 8. That means p is equals to 4. So p is equals to 4. Okay, so there you go. That was question number 3. Now let's do question number 4, which is related to graphs of function. Okay, so we have 3 plus 2x minus x cubed upon 5. And we have to complete the table first. So I'm going to plug in 4 in this equation. So we have 3 plus 2 into 4 minus 4 cube upon 5. Oops, sorry. 4 cube divided by 5. Yeah, so that's equal to minus 1.8. Okay, so now I'm going to mark these values and plot them. So minus 4, 7.8. So minus 4, 7.8 will be here. Minus 3, 2.4 is going to be here. And then we have minus 2, 0.6. So minus 2, 0.6 is going to be here. And then minus 1, 1.2 is going to be here. And then 0, 3 is going to be here. And then 1, 4.8 is going to be here somewhere. And then 2, 5.4 is going to be here. And then 3, 3.6 is going to be here. And then 4 minus 1.8 is going to be here, one block above 2. Okay, so I'm going to join this with a smooth curve. I'm going to try and make it as smooth as it can be. So there you go, quite steep there. Okay, rising now. Let's keep on going. There you go. Okay, quite steep again. And there you go. So we have now drawn this curve, and we get 3 marks for that. By drawing a tangent, estimate the gradient of the curve of the graph y equals to the same equation at 1, 4.8. So the tangent is going to be drawn at x equals to 1. So here's x equals to 1. I'm going to draw a tangent here. So when drawing a tangent, make sure that it just touches the line and touches the curve, sorry, and it is equally spaced. Let me tell you what I mean by that. So what I mean by that is, I've explained this just now in an example question, is that the space of the tangent from the curve should be equal from above and below. So I'm going to pick any 2 points that I can that are easy for me to read, and I'm going to use them to calculate the gradient. So the points that I'm going to pick are, let's see, I can pick this point. This is going to be, let's see, this is going to be 1.567, so 1.7, and the y value is going to be 5.8. So 1.7 comma 5.8, let's write that down so we don't forget. And just like this, let's pick another value. So let's see. So this looks, no, actually it's too close. There's nothing wrong with that, but yeah, why not? Okay, so let's pick this value. This is minus 1.5 and 1.2. So minus 1.5 and 1.2. Minus 1.5 and 1.2. So let's use these 2 points and calculate the gradient. So we're going to do 1.2 minus 5.8 over minus 1.5 minus 1.7. So I'm going to punch this in my calculator. 1.2 minus 5.8 divided by minus 1.5 minus 1.7. So that gives me 1.4375. So I'm just going to lock it at 1.44, which is well inside the acceptable range. Okay, then it says on the grid draw the line. So before I can draw this line, I'll have to make y the subject. So 2y equals to 8 minus x. Then I will have to, well, I haven't made y the subject as yet. So 8 minus x upon 2. So I'm going to try and plug in even values in place of x, because that's going to make y an integer. So I'm going to plug in 0. So 8 minus 0 is 8. 8 upon 2 is 4. And then I'm going to plug in 2. 8 minus 2 is 4. Oh, sorry, 8 minus 2 is 6. 6 upon 2 is 3. And then let's plug in minus 2. So 8 minus 2 is 10. 10 upon 2 is 5. So minus 2 comma 5 is one value, is 1 point actually. So minus 2 comma 5 is got to be here. 0, 4 is got to be here. And then we have 2, 3, which is going to be here. So I'm going to join these 2 points with the help of a straight line. Let's use blue color now. So there you go. Whenever you join them, make sure that you extend them such that they can intersect at maximum points with the curve. Then it is definitely going to ask us for the point where it intersects. Yep, that is the case. It's asking us to write down the x coordinates of the points where the line intersects the curve. So we're going to have 3 values, as you can see. So let's drop dotted lines from where they intersect. So here's one. This is going to be minus 3.7. Okay, we'll write that shortly. Here's another. This is going to be 0.4. And here's the third. This is going to be 3.3. Okay, so let's write them down. Minus 3.7. So minus 3.7, comma, the other was 0.4. Yeah, 0.4. And then we had 3.3. Okay, so that's pretty accurate. Okay, but remember there's always a small margin of error. Okay, then it says these x coordinates are the solutions of the equation. Okay, so you're very likely to come across a question like this where it's asking you to bring your equation equal to a certain equation and find the missing values. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to equate, whenever it says solutions of the x coordinates are the solutions, so what we do is we equate the 2 equations of the solutions that we're trying to find. So what are the 2 equations? One of them is 8 minus x upon 2, this is equal to y, and the other is the equation of the curve, which is 3 plus 2x minus x cube upon 5. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to cross multiply. So 8 minus x upon 2, I'm going to take the LCM first. So 5 into 15 plus 10x minus x cube. Now I'm going to cross multiply them. जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम. हाँ हाँ मैं कर लूँगा चलो ओके हाफिज़. Okay, so now we're going to cross multiply. So 5 into 8 minus x is equals to 40 minus 5x is equal to 30 plus 20x minus 2x cube. Okay, so I'm going to rearrange it in the form that I'm supposed to. So that means I'm going to bring the x cube on the left hand side. So we're going to have 2x cube first, and then minus 20x, and then all the x's, minus 5x along with minus 5x, and then minus 30 plus 40 equals to 0. So let's arrange this nicely. 22x cubed minus 25x minus 30 plus 40 is going to be plus 10 equals to 0. Okay, so if I compare this with what's given, so that's 2x cubed plus ax plus b equals to 0. I can see that the value of a is minus 25, and I can see that the value of b is positive 10. Okay, so that's our answer to the last part of this question. Now let's do question number 5. So in question number 5, it says x is an integer from 1 to 16. That means it's going to start from 1, 2, 3 and go all the way to 16. And set A consists of even numbers, so that means 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 and 16. And then B is a square number, so the perfect squares in this are going to be 1, 4, 9 and 16. And x is a factor of 100, so that means we're going to have 1, 2, 4, 10 is 8, no 8 is not a factor, 15, yeah that's about it, 1, 2, 4 and 10. Okay, so I just need to complete the Venn diagram. That means the first thing ideally I should look for is a number that is present in both, so that is 4. And then I should look for the numbers common in A and B. So we can see they are 4 and 16, so we're left with 16. So 16 is common in A and B only. And then let's look at the elements that are common in A and set C. So in A and C we can see that we have 2 common and we have 10 common. So we're going to have 2 here and we have 10 here. And then let's look for the elements common in B and C. So that's 1. Okay. So with this sorted out, we're just going to write down the remaining elements of A, B and C. So the remaining elements of A are 6, 8, 10, actually no, not 10, 10 has already been written, 12 and 14. And the remaining elements of set B is going to be 9. And the remaining elements of set C is going to be just, oh actually we missed 5. Yeah, 5 is also a factor of 100 of course. So 5, yeah. Okay, so now let's do part 2, which says find A complement union B. Okay, so A complement means, let's first write down A complement. So A complement means everything except for set A. Okay, actually I just missed out one thing, and that is all the elements outside of A, B and C. So that means inside the universal set. So they are going to be, we have 1, 2, we don't have 3, we have 4, 5, 6, we don't have 7, and then it's going to be 8, 9, 10, 11, we have 12, we don't have 13, we have 14, we don't have 15, 16 is considered, oh actually yeah, it doesn't go beyond 16. Okay, so first let's write down all the elements in A complement. That means everything outside of A. So that's going to be 9, 1, 5, 3, 7, 11, 13 and 15. And then let's write down all the elements in set B, which is 16, 4, 1 and 9. Okay, and let's make a union of them and see how many elements do we have. So we have 1, and we're going to have 3, we're going to have 4, we're going to have 5, and we're going to have 7, 9. Actually I should keep on crossing them. 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9. Okay, so we have 9 in both, and then 11, 13, 15, 16. Yeah, 11, 13, 15 and 16. So let's count them. So that makes it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the answer to that is 10. Okay, so I think a shorter way of doing this would have been to first count all the elements that are outside of A. That would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then also include the sets that are inside B also. So that would have been 9 and 10. But again, doing an extra step just to make sure that you get it right means no harm. P is an element of A intersection C. Write down all the elements of, or write down all the possible values of P. Okay, so I'm going to highlight that region that's common between A and C. So that's this region, 2, 10 and 4. So all the possible values are going to be 2, 10 and 4. You don't necessarily have to write them in order. You can write them in whatever order you want as long as it's correct. Okay, now let's move forward and see what we have next. Then we have part B, which says Atiq has a set of 16 cards numbered 1 to 16. Okay, and then it says he takes a card from the set at random. All right. Find the probability that the card shows an odd square number. Okay, so the keywords here are odd and square. Okay, so let's see how many odd numbers do we have, and let's see how many squares do we have. So 1 to 16 and odd square, or 1 to 16 basically means that he's going to have 16 cards. Okay, and an odd square number. So 1 is an odd square number, and 9 is an odd square number, 4 is an even square number, 16 is also an even square number. Okay, so that means that he has 2 is going to be your favorable outcome, and 16 is going to be the total number of outcomes, which when simplified is equals to 1 upon 8. Okay, now let's do the next part, which is B part 2, which says Atiq takes 2 cards at random from a set of 16 cards. Find the probability that both cards show even numbers that are factors of 100. So let's first write down all the factors of 100. So we have 1, 2, 4, 5, 10. Yeah. So even factors of 100 here are 2, 4, and 10. So in the first attempt, the probability of getting a number that is an even factor of 100 is going to be 3 upon 16, and then in the next one it's going to be 2 upon 15. So before we cross multiply it, actually since we're doing paper 2, there's no point in simplifying it. Let's just do it directly in our calculator. 3 divided by 16 into 2 divided by 15 is equal to 1 upon 40. So 1 upon 40 is our final answer. Okay, then we have question number 6, in which we have to rearrange the formula v equals to 3 over p plus 5 to make p the subject. So let's cross multiply. 3 is equals to pv plus 5v. Let's isolate p. So 3 minus 5v equals to pv. So 3 minus 5v upon v equals to p. So 3 minus 5v upon v is equals to the value of, actually is equals to p. Okay, let's do the next part, which says express as a single fraction in its simplest form. So the first thing we've got to do is we've got to take out the LCM. So that can be done by simply multiplying the two expressions in the brackets. So 2x minus 5 into x minus 6, and then x will be multiplied by x minus 6, which is going to give us x squared minus 6x, and then plus 3 into 2, 6x minus 15. Okay. So in the numerator we'll have x squared minus 15 only. In the denominator we'll have to expand and simplify. So 2x squared minus 12x minus 5x plus 30. So we're going to have x squared minus 15 over 2x squared minus 17x plus 30. Okay, so to solve part C, we'll first cross multiply. 4x plus 5 equals to 2 minus 6x. Now 10x is going to be equal to 2 minus 5, which is minus 3. X is equals to minus 3 upon 10. Okay, and then part D, again, fairly simple question. 5 into x is 5x. 5 into 3 is plus 15 equals to 4x minus 2x. Sorry, 4x square minus 2x, yeah. 4x squared minus 2x. Okay, so this is a quadratic equation. That means we'll have two values. So 4x squared minus 7x, because that's what minus 2x minus 5x is equals to, minus 15 equals to 0. So if there was a possibility of using the quadratic formula here, the question would have told us to give our answer correct to two decimal places. But that's not the case here. So that means we may just get away with simply factorizing it using middle term breaking. Okay, so minus 15 times 4 is minus 60. So two numbers that when multiplied give us negative 60, and the sum should be minus 7. Let's see. So 15 into 4, no. 2 into 30, no. 4 into 15, obviously not. 5 times minus 12, yeah, that sounds good. 5 minus 12 is equal to minus 7. So 4x squared plus 5x minus 12x minus 15 equals to 0. So in the first pair I can factor out x, so that's going to give me 4x plus 5. In the next pair I can factor out minus 3, so that's also going to give me 4x plus 5 equals to 0. So x minus 3 into 4x plus 5 equals to 0. That means x minus 3 equals to 0, or 4x plus 5 equals to 0. So x equals to 3, or 4x equals to minus 5. Let's do another step. X equals to minus 5 upon 4. So 3 or minus 5 upon 4 are our final answers. So that's all for this part. In the next part, we will solve the remaining 3 to 4 questions, inshallah. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned.